Hello everyone, this is Charlotte and this is a podcast called Chatting in Cars. It's where I talk about random topics and go on tangents. It is Tuesday and we get to do a nice long drive today, so hopefully I can give you some information. Anything that's not me being an arrogant little shit. Now, there is a disclaimer at the start of this podcast because I do swear considerably. I enjoy it. And I also talk about sensitive topics. I also swear while I'm driving because, there's idiots that don't drive properly. So you will hear me going off in a Tourette-style rant about someone not being able to merge quite frequently. If you don't want to hear that, absolutely, it's your choice. You don't have to. I'm not going to make you. I can't physically make you, although in the ether I'm not pushing you to make your decision. No, I don't know. But yeah, I hope you're having a chill Tuesday, so let's get started. Today is the topic I've discovered, or I've written down on my magical post-it notes, is authenticity. Because it's incredibly important to be authentic to yourself. You've got to have integrity to yourself, not just other people as well. And it's all to do with self-protection and boundaries and things like that as well. So there's no point, selling yourself out just to join in with some other people, as far as I'm concerned. Being that I'm quite old now, and I'm past my phase where I'm there to impress people and join in and try and belong to a social group or anything like that, or make other people happy. I find it a bit easier, but I could be biased because, I'm nearly 40 now. I don't have people to impress. I just don't care. My amazing confidence comes from just being generally tired. So it's like, I don't give a fuck what people think. I'm getting the food on the table. I'm getting on with my life. I just don't care. I've been through enough shit where nothing they say or do really matters unless they're fucking paying me. So I know it sounds a bit materialistic, but that's, when it comes down to brass tacks. There was a time when I wanted to join in. I really wanted to be normal, what was deemed normal, but I know that, normal's an illusion. There's no normal, there's no perfect. One person's normal is another person's what the fuck. I mean, look at Brad Pitt. He's been a sex symbol for how many years? And I'm still looking at him sideways going, what the fuck am I looking at? I don't see it. So everybody's got their own perspective on what is authentic or what should be valued and what should be, perpetuated. So you've got to make it for yourself. And as long as you're happy to own who you are or what you're willing to be and do, that's what should be important. Now, I'm not saying go off on a Hitler kind of lifestyle choice, That guy generally, even though he might have been authentic at the time, was pretty much evil. I think we can all agree on that. You don't want to be like him. So as long as it's aligning with some kind of greater good and not just, greater good for the sake of making it look like you're doing something good to other people, I think you should be all right. Authenticity comes from, internal desires to want to do the right thing, to line up properly and to not feel like you're living a lie. So I think that's the basis for any kind of real self-development. I mean, how many books are there based on, living your authentic life or being the real you? Sometimes the real you is an asshole, so you have to change some of that shit. Nobody's going to want to be around the real you if you're a dick. And I don't mean that in a horrible way because, penises can be quite nice sometimes, but, it's not a sexist term. But you gotta be nice, you gotta be a good person, right? Everybody wants to get along. We've all got to survive on this planet. So you want to be a good person. So as long as you're aligning yourself up with some good things, or perceived to be good things, right, I guess, if you're looking at it objectively. Because we're all going to be subject to, the social contexts we find ourselves in. In some cultures, some things are acceptable, some things are not. The question is, do you want to belong to that culture? Do you want to belong to that country? I mean, if you don't, I suggest you leave if you can. But if you can't, well, you're going to have to find a way to make it work, I guess. But so authenticity comes from self-construction. If you're looking at it in abstract terms, and I always go to the same shit over and over again, it's social constructivism. I love that lens. So that's where I'm going to go with it. Interpretivism and social constructivism, that's my jam. There are other ways of looking at things sociologically if you want to. I like phenomenology, one of the fun words to say in sociology. There's a whole, off the top of my head I can't remember, to be honest, because I'm buzzing on coffee right now, but there's a whole bunch of them. I think there's about 5 or 6 at least ways of just looking at things. Humanist, all kinds of them. You got to go into it. You got to go find one that works for you. What makes sense for you? And for me, it was social constructives that works for me. It makes sense because we're surrounded by this shit. Of course, it's going to influence us. So it's going to contribute to who we are. But basically, that is looking at life through saying, the social stuff around me, like what is deemed normal, the values and norms around us. That's helped shape who I am. My interpretation of experiences and social context will also further shape who I am. So that's the interpretive part of side of things. You could also go into looking into a narrative inquiry. I love narrative inquiry because it's storytelling. I love storytelling. I always love stories. I would take, if you're going to go, I know this is pretty like boring, dry stuff, but if you want to look at someone's story, I would take, or to understand someone, I would look at stories rather than, collecting data sets and saying, oh, this is the trend. Because it's so restricted. You don't know. I want to hear from the horse's mouth. I want to know what's happening in the field and to understand it first-hand account. Because first-hand evidence is the best kind. You can always see better, clearer when it's up front. Second-hand knowledge, not that great because you're taking someone else's take on it, right? You want to know for yourself. Bringing it back to self-discovery. I went off on a tangent there. To understand who you are, you're going to have to look at what's influenced you from around you, people you've hung around, the culture you've existed in, also your natural inclinations. Everybody got their own mindset. You're designed a certain way, chemically, if you want to look at it biologically. Sorry, I'm trying to pass a cyclist that wants to be in my lane. There's that random rambling. But, even like when you're looking at addiction and things like that, people have got a chemical imbalance that causes addiction, and it causes a predisposition to be addicted to substances. And that, of course, that kind of structure in your brain, or that kind of chemical, propensity will actually, turn you into a certain kind of person. It will make you more addicted to substances. And so that, permeates into your personality as well. You'll be, more inclined to, lean towards exercises or activities that will help you find the substance you're seeking. So that's going to play a part in who you are as well. You're always chasing something. I mean, if it was cocaine, it'd be you're chasing the white dragon, right? Or whatever it is. Are these 80s terms? Am I bringing back 80s terms? I don't know. Having said that, I could say that most people are addicted to something. But it's having the over-addiction where it ruins your life that becomes a problem. I myself am addicted to sugar and caffeine, but these are hardly lethal things, really, unless you're actually allergic to them or something. Being addicted to meth is going to have severe ripple effect on your life compared to, I just had a biscuit I nicked from the staff room. So I'm going to nick some more later when no one's looking, because I was raised by Catholics, apparently. No offense to Catholics, I just know there's a lot of shame and guilt associated with pleasure. I don't understand that. I know. There's a whole discussion Dylan Moran went on. Yeah, I love him for that, I found this biscuit, I'm going to eat it later when no one's looking. He's a brilliant comedian. If you ever get to watch his stand-up, it's amazing. I saw it in the city where I live in. He came to our city and I was pretty stoked about that because he's one of my favourite comedians. But it's not going to contribute to who you are and who you view yourself to be. I mean, and you can't shame yourself for it, really, can you? Because we're all human. No one's perfect. A lot of information we've given ourselves, which we deem right at the time, obviously changes, but it's because we've been influenced by those around us. If you hang around with shit people, you're going to pick up shit values, aren't you? So you want to pick people wisely if you can. I mean, but then again, there's a point where we just don't know who we're hanging around until their true colours come out. There is a guy racing to merge here. Sorry, douche. Did I do that? They just sort of jam, wherever you are, they just jam themselves into the merge point. It's like, why aren't you in the right lane to start with, mate? Idiot. But yeah, see, these people influence me. They influence my tempo. But I'm pretty chill today, so, I'm buzzing. I got to work on my businesses this morning before I head into my teaching job, so I'm pretty stoked. I'll hopefully do some more after work before I go to the gym. So, you know, this is my shit. I love my shit. This is my North Node. I'm totally stoked about it. But yeah, I mean, your influences, even as a child, and we go right back to birth if you want to, it's going to show you who you are and, you know, the kind of person you're going to be. Well, I was overdue when I was born. I started sucking out amniotic fluid, all that kind of crap. They sucked out my lungs. I have brachial scarring, and apparently, you know, some oxygen didn't get to my brain, so it causes a few problems later on. But they put me in an egg box, and that's obviously in some way, maybe consciously or subconsciously, affected who I am today, because my brain doesn't function quite as it should. My genetics affected me as well, because, you know, autism is genetic. It comes through, I don't know who it comes through. I don't think it's any type of, it was paternal or maternal. I think it's just genetic. I think you just get it. But looking at, you know, that kind of thing as well, I didn't really have a choice in that, but you work with what you got. So, you know, being born autistic, you've got already a structural problem in your brain where you can't handle things that are overloading sensory-wise. So all of my sort of PTS and OCD and all that could have been a result of being overstimulated as a child, because, you know, I come from a berserker background, parents are fucked in the head. But they could have been because they're autistic as well, you know? It's like, the ripple effect is phenomenal. Are they genuinely evil people, or are they just autistic and they just learned things wrong, you know? Because, you know, part of autism is following rules, and if they were taught the wrong rules and they apply them and they get shit result, you know, there's a whole lot of extra things in this that factor into who you are and where you come from and how you're going to behave in the future. I mean, the good thing is that you've got free will. You could turn around and say, well, this was shit, I'm not doing it. Or these people suck, I'm not being like this. Or, you know, that's been my life so far. There's a shitload of anti-role models of what not to be, and what I don't want to be, and who I couldn't possibly want to be like. Doing things, you know, to me or to other people, and to be on the receiving end of that and saying, I don't want to fucking do that. That's horrible. It's really fucking horrible. Why would I want to pass that on? If someone's come up to you and punched you in the face, you go, ow. I mean, you might instinctively be angry and say, fuck it, I'm going to punch you back, arsehole, right? Right? But at the same time, you're sitting there going, yeah, this is something I've repeatedly felt. I mean, growing up as a kid, when you know, my mum used to smack us around. You're sitting there going, I don't think I could ever pass this on to a kid. I'm angry now because it's embarrassing, it's humiliating, it's painful. I don't think I could ever do it to a kid, because I know what it is to be on the receiving end of that, and I know it's humiliating, especially when they do it in public. And it's not something you can hide, because now everybody's seen this happen. Everyone knows that she's smacking you around in public. I remember, you know, my mum cracking me around the side of the face in a fucking Woolworths. And I got people turning their heads to look, but did they do anything? Did they say anything? No. They just let it slide. And you're like, you are allowing this abuse to happen by not saying anything and just normalizing it. And it wasn't just like a smack on the bum. It wasn't, you know, she used to beat the fuck out of us with things like wooden spoons, belts, shoes. She cracked my brother over the head with a lollipop my younger sister and I bought him that was the size of a dinner plate. It was like an inch thick. She fucked him up with it because she was that kind of a woman. I think at the time it was just a case of, you know, he swore at her because she was trying to get him up for school, and he told her to fuck off or something like that, and she brought it back and she smacked the fuck out of him with this fucking lollipop. I mean, looking at it objectively, it should have been funny because it's a giant fucking lollipop. But, you know, it's abuse, and we make jokes about abuse. I make jokes about abuse because, you know, I can fucking deal with it, to be honest, because, you know, part of me is dealing with a fuckload of trauma and shit, and if you don't make jokes, you just crumble, don't you? And I'm not letting my life go to shit because my parents were fucked in the head. So no, fuck that. And that's part of my authenticity. That's where my fight and fire comes from. I'm angry, but I'm channeling it really fucking well at this point because, you know, we're working on a shitload of projects, and I'm being the person I said I would never be because I was presented with these assholes as a child and in my teens and 20s, and right up until my 30s. It's like the more I look at people, the more I interact with them, the less I want to be like them, or I'll find some people like my EAs, my beautiful education assistants that are amazing women often. Sometimes they're men, but generally they're women, and you sit there and you go, I want to be like them. Or I don't want to replicate what I've seen where it's pain-based. You always have a choice. There are some things that I will replicate where it's pain-based, but it's always, justified. I mean, the most innocent one, I suppose, is, going to the gym trying to build muscle. That's pain-based, I can tell you that, because it fucking hurts sometimes, especially when you got a fucked up sciatic on my left, under my arse, actually, to be under my arse cheek, which is not an attractive way to look at it. But, it's squats is painful, basically. Deadlifts is iffy. But, it's pain, but it's going to get you somewhere. It's, it's not fun. Why are we... Yeah, sorry, I've got a bus behind me that wants to in my butt, apparently. Growing muscle comes with pain, but it's justified pain. Obviously you're not going to go any way to fuck up your sciatic like I did. I was lifting some ridiculous, stupid fucking weight, badly probably. And it just pulled, and I felt that, and yeah, you can imagine. So now it's twingy, and that was years ago, so it's like, But, you deal with that shit. But the, pain I would replicate, that would be, I suppose, like violent pain. I mean, I wouldn't want to take it on someone who didn't deserve it. I know I have a lot of stored anger and rage and all that shit. And, but I'm saving it, I suppose. I want to save it for like a terrorist act where I get to defend someone, who's a good person or something like that, and beat up a terrorist. Isn't that ideal, right? You get to be the superhero one time, I mean, it might be your last, but you still want to try, right? You want to play the hero. I don't know. Justify why you were given all this stored anger. It's like, well, actually, I turned it around and I used it, stop the world ending. It was amazing. Aren't I fabulous? Aren't I on an ego kick right now? Yay. But no, there's some justified. I mean, if honestly, like UFC fighters, I love watching UFC. You've got people that are having to go berserk mode, essentially, but it's also a controlled berserk mode where you're willing to fucking hurt someone to the point, maybe even to the point of killing them, if need be, but it's channeled safely. It's measured as well. You still have to have some kind of strategy to beating the shit out of someone. It's like, watching Conor McGregor, he's my favourite fighter at the moment, so even though he's fucked up his ankle, hopefully he comes back. But watching his strategy, he's actually got a really good plan and a good way of fighting as well. So he's not just going in there arms flailing, but he's also got an intensity to his punches and kicks and shit like that. And his grappling's pretty good as well. So you watch him and you sit there and go, I know that you're angry, and I know this anger has come from somewhere, but you are channeling it really fucking well. And you're making a mint while you're doing it. So that's something to look up to, I guess. Being that my North Node is Korean. I'm glad you're making money. And generally, I just want to see everybody, get paid and eat. So I don't want to suffer and starve and be poor. Some people call it materialism. I'm sitting there going, no, money's always been like a tool for growth for me. It's not been something I want to hoard to lord over someone. It's like it's getting out of poverty and getting onto some kind of transformative path where you can make your circumstances better. It's not materialism for me. It's transmuting shit circumstances into something that's worth something. So that's part of my authenticity as well. I want it to be functional, and I want it to be good. I'm not here to hoard shit for the sake of appearances and shit like that. If I ever get money, I'll probably use it for something that's decent, I don't know, something. I'm leaning towards housing at this point because I'm seeing a lot of broke-ass people in homeless situations. I don't like it, so... all these big plans I've got, I've barely got a house myself. Like, yeah, I've got big plans. But I'm looking forward to that kind of thing. So you want to live your authentic life. Your authentic life is something that's aligned with values and norms, which are not harmful to other persons. You can't go around saying, these are my values, I'm going to justify doing this because they're in line with my values, but they ultimately fuck someone else over. You can't do that. That's horrible. You can build up so much karmic debt doing that. Because, ultimately, if you're looking at it in 3D, people are going to abandon you, you're going to lose your resources. In the 5D, you're going to get your ass handed to you in circumstances. It's all connected. You don't want to be an asshole. Generally, that's the life purpose, isn't it? You've got 4 life purposes. As I've said before, look after your land, look after your animals, look after each other, and look after yourself. And it's in that order. Because if you look after each other, you shouldn't have to look after yourself. Unless it's something like, overcoming your insecurities. If we were looking after each other properly, everything would get taken care of. You wouldn't have to, And some people take that self-love too far. They go narcissistic and it just fucks everything up. The balance is off. It's all about them, or, people just don't give a shit about the environment, so they're fucking up the ground they stand on and wondering why it burns, or they're fucking up with the animals and it's like there's no food to eat or something because it's all an ecosystem that's very, very delicately balanced. It's not just tree-hugging hippies, it's people with practical minds sitting there going, we kind of need this environment, so let's try and fucking not fuck it up. There's an idea. But, not that I have problems with tree-hugging hippies. I love those people. They smell a bit, but, You make friends with all kinds of odd people in this world. As long as it's not hurting anyone, I'm happy with them. They do smell, though. I've hung out with them. I know what they're about. If it's not, yogurt farts, it's smelly armpit hair. I've seen them. But then again, you've got the ones that are hippies that aren't hairy and, they're lovely people, peaceable people. I love those people. They always got interesting stories as well. So, some people are like, ew. Ferals. Have you ever hung out with ferals? What we call ferals in Australia. They're the typical, wizard dressing, dreadlocked, beaded hair kind of, they're fun people. But if you ever need help, they're the ones that kind of help you. Weirdly enough, these are the ones that tie themselves to trees and shit, but they really want to help. Very much, connected to the earth, those people. Very appreciative. Anyway, so, authenticity. Yeah, people like turn around to those guys and say they're gross. But I'm like, I don't know, man. I've told their kids they're pretty good people. They got open minds, I'll give them that. But yeah, you got to stay authentic to yourself. Thing is, like, trying to belong to a group. Like, I left the social group. I didn't really want to try and belong to it. I was there for one person, really. And the fact that there were like at least 2 people, maybe 3 that were nice, that I was like, okay, these people are cool, so I'll stay. But there was a large chunk of them that were just not nice. And they were doing the fake nice stuff. So I'm like, I can't do this, man. I can't do fake. It'll get up my ass because it's like you're lying to me, to my face, by being fake nice. It's like, I would rather you be angry and tell me what you think and tell the truth and hurt my feelings. I don't give a fuck. You think you can hurt my feelings? This would be fun. You clearly don't know what I've come through already. Hurt my feelings, I fucking dare you. It's like, I would rather you be honest and tell me what your position is, what you're going through and what you want to, tell me your thoughts, what are you feeling, than fake what's going on and us, everything going tits up and then me finding out about it later and not, it's like not fixing the problem when it was in the bud, right? That's what bugs me, the fake niceness. It's like, I don't like that, I don't do that. If I like you, you'll know. If I don't like you, you'll definitely fucking know. If I hate you, god damn it, you better run. I have anger issues. I know where they come from. If you've listened to the other podcasts, you'll know where they've come from too. But I can't stand fake. So that group that I left, I'm sitting there going, I'm looking at a lot of people that are a lot of fakeness. But I know what they're doing in the background and what they're saying when one of their other own people isn't there. And I'm sitting there going, why are you all like this? It doesn't make sense. The realness has got to come through. I mean, you're just deceiving yourself, essentially, aren't you? You're saying, I'm this kind of a person, but you're not, because you're doing this. It doesn't make sense. It's like you're telling everyone that you're a nice kind of person. It's all covert bullshit, because as soon as one person from that group's going to leave the table to go piss or get a pint or something like that, you know that they're going to be bitching about them behind their back. And I've sat there and listened to several conversations about people just ragging on each other. I'm going, these are assholes. Why am I hanging around them? Why would I bother hanging out with a bunch of people that treat each other like this and are really just not nice people? They fake being nice, and they're all friends. Oh, we all work together. And you sit and go, are you faking nice because you have to work together? Is that it? Or are you genuinely trying to pretend that you're friends? Or what is this about? Because, you know, I keep my work and my friends separate because I'm a teacher and because I'm different school every day because I'm doing relief. There's not really a chance for me to fake nice to anyone because, you know, oh, Jesus, dude, why are you doing that? You fuckwit. Sorry. Another, what is that, an Amarok? It's like a Navara. Bad drivers. Found the tiniest gap and then tried to overtake. I'm going, are you serious? Anyway, but because I'm a teacher, there's no room for fakeness. I don't see people, I don't spend enough time with people enough to want to develop any kind of fake relationship. So any friends that I've made in the teaching field is because, you know, I've genuinely spent time with them in the field and we've done teachery stuff and we're all about the job. They do have social things after work if you want to, but I never sign up for them because I'm like, my time is my own time. I don't want to do this shit. It's like, if I'm not getting paid, we keep work and pleasure and business is separate as far as I'm concerned. Because you don't, you know, I purposely keep that separate because you don't, you know, you don't want to mix the two because if you fuck one up, then both fucks up, right? That's why you don't shag people at work or you don't, you know, take things, no, I don't know. You just don't. It just doesn't make sense to interweave them because if one fucks up, the other will fuck up. Might as well have at least one thing standing if one other thing fucks up. So, I don't know, but this social group, it was people that were working together and hanging out together. And I'm sitting there going, you're just asking for trouble. It's like at some point, someone's going to piss someone off and then you have to work with that person as well. And you can't stand each other as it is. And then you just got to smile and wave and hope that, you know, you don't want to, you know, have a dig at each other and get them to lose their job or something. I don't know. But, you know, given the backstabbing from these people, I'm not surprised. If they didn't try and undermine each other's work, I wouldn't be surprised. So, you know, dobbing him in for shit they didn't do, I don't know, some shit, I don't know. It's the pettiness as well, because they're all in their early 20s. They've still got that weird teenage pettiness from high school. It's fucking weird to look at nearly 40. You're looking at it going, Jesus Christ, grow the fuck up. Seriously, we're here for work, aren't we? But again, that's another gap that I couldn't fill. I couldn't go back to being what I was like in high school or that level of, I suppose, maturity, if you want to call it that, because it seemed cringy. It was horrible. So I had trouble fitting in with that group because I'm just in the wrong flow, man. I'm too old now to want to do that shit and find it entertaining. If I listen to people backstabbing their own friends, I'm sitting there going, you guys are toxic as fuck, and no, I don't want to be like you. It's like, these are not role models I would want to emulate because fuck it. You know, there's nothing to get out of it. You lose all your friends inevitably. Everybody gets hurt. Their feelings are trashed. It's fucked. Why would you want to perpetuate this or encourage this? And there's a very strong streak of competitivism in there. I don't compete because I can't fucking stand competition. I never could. It's not that I think I'm going to lose. It's just that I just don't care about it. I don't value that kind of things. Anyone who goes to the gym as a genuine gym rat knows that competition doesn't fucking matter unless you are competing in a bodybuilding competition or something. If you're going for the sake of yourself, you're looking at your own life path. You're looking at what progress you can make in your own lane. You're not worried about some fuckheads doing something. It's like some bitch is backstabbing you or mouthing off and calling you names or some shit behind your back. You're sitting there going, dude, I'm too old for this shit. I just don't care. I find it funny that they keep trying. I'm going, it clearly didn't work the first time. Why do you think it works now? It's the 8th time. Maybe you should fucking grow up. I don't know. They don't seem to have any kind of perception of how ineffective their life really is when it comes to being a bitch. It's like, yep, yeah, I don't know. Heroes in their own little lunchbox, I guess. So, I might go over there actually. Can I go over in there? Sorry, I'm just looking for a spot. No, taking on a spot. Teachers, God. So, what I will do is go up there. or park on the street. Sorry, I'm just talking to myself. You do that a lot. You do that a lot when you get old. Trying to figure out what the fuck your brain's doing. Oh cool, I still got 10 minutes to have to be there. Okay, alright, so, you know, authenticity fucking matters. Eventually you've got to live with yourself. You don't want to sit there and be someone else or someone else's ideal of what you should be. I mean, there are benefits to trying to do that because some people have got a better version of you in their head. Maybe they want you to be. So if you're getting encouragement to, I don't know, progress your life, be healthier, educate yourself, move towards something that's of higher good and higher morals or something like that, then yeah, you could suggest that. But honestly, ultimately it comes down to you and your decisions. You captain your own ship, right? You know that poem, if you want to look into that. I got heavily into Invictus, the military, pretty much Olympic Games for the military. Way back when, 2018, I went to, I think it was 2018, when they had them in Sydney, Australia. And I went to a few of those and I fucking loved it, to be honest, because watching all these people that are absolute fucking badasses and they got like cyborg limbs and shit. They're all playing like murder rugby and shit like that in wheelchairs. I'm going, fuck yeah. So if you ever get involved in anything like that, it's fantastic. But these fuckers know what they are. They've got a strong sense of authenticity and they've taken with some horrible experiences like treading on IEDs and shit like that and blowing their fucking legs off. And they've converted it into something that's absolutely fucking gold. It's, you know, it's going off and showing people you can still exist, you can still proceed, you can progress through life, even if you got like a leg off and shit like that. And these are my fucking heroes. These fuckers know what they're doing. They've taken extreme experiences, not just a case of, oh, my boyfriend dumped me. You know, my boyfriend dumped me, my life is over. They've lost a fucking leg, dude. It's like some fucking serious badassery going on here. You know, half their head's missing. You know, going, fuck, dude. It's okay, I've got a comb over. You know, these are my heroes. I love these fuckers. They don't fuck around. They're sitting there and they get on with it. And it's a good thing to have. But if you've got someone who's trying to, you know, coerce you into living a better lifestyle, it's not always a bad thing. You could look at it critically and say, hey, maybe they're right. But does it align with what I want to do and who I am and who I want to be? Or is it a case of, oh, come out drinking with us, come and do some drugs, and, you know, because you want to be one of us, you want to be cool like this, and you want to sleep around and you want to do shit like that. All destructive stuff. And you're sitting there going, I know the trauma that comes from this. I don't want to be like that. I know it's going to hurt. I know you're going to hate yourself. Your self-esteem is going to go down, especially when you value your entire existence around, you know, who's willing to fuck you. Some girls in high school and some in that social group I just left, to be honest, have based their entire value on boys chasing them. So if the guys like me, then I'm cool. It's like, no, you fucking idiot, because essentially you'll age, you'll lose your looks, and some of them are already starting to lose their looks. I'm looking at a few of them going, ooh, that's a matter of time. The drinking and the drugs that they're doing are also fucking up their looks. So they're getting a bit, you know, let's just say tattered around the edges. They've got no personality. They haven't bothered developing a personality because, you know, all I have to do is just, you know, look pretty and spread my legs. And that's all they'll need. They're looking for a sugar daddy. This is just the girls. The guys are doing the same. They think if they just look good and pretend they're something, that they'll get along in life. It's like, it's not going to work. You're going to have to actually go in depth and develop some substance, you fucking idiot. It's like, when you get to 40 and your looks are gone, and my looks are gone, I know that much. I don't give a fuck. My looks were never emphasized growing up. But I've got a solid job. I've got a good heart. I've got a good personality. My morals are strong. I know I'm clean. I know I've never had an STD, for example. You know, it's like all these little subtle things that they just don't value because they're young and dumb and they just want to sleep around and have fun. You get to 40, you're like, you fucking idiot, why did you do that? They don't have the experience and background to tell them that this was a stupid decision at the time. So because they've been conditioning themselves and they're in a little social group in high school, and they've told themselves this is what is valuable, and it's not. It's the only thing they can see right now, which I find stupid, because you're not even listening to other people, you're not watching what other people are doing and seeing where this goes. It's like, I was like looking at my ex-boyfriend and I going into that social group, he's 40, I'm 38. If anyone was a good example to see what would happen if you took the bad examples or made the bad decisions or made the good decisions. Like, I made pretty good decisions growing up because I had that huge background of trauma and PTS and a shitload of role models I didn't want to be or didn't want to do. So my life is, you know, pretty Sandra Dee right now. It's pretty clean. I don't know. You ever watch the movie Grease, Sandra Dee? They fucking hate me for that shit. Because I don't do drugs, I don't smoke, I don't want to sleep around, I don't want to be a bad girl. I never wanted to be a fucking bad girl. Why would I want to do that? It's hoe bag shit. But they hate me for that shit because I'm not like them. But look at me now. I mean, look, you know, my ex-boyfriend was the bad boy, obviously. He went the whole drugs, he went the whole smoking, sleeping around, all that shit. His entire existence was based on being perceived to be, you know, a player. I was never a player. I mean, you know, I didn't want to be. I didn't go that way. I was a good girl. I like being a good girl. It's clean. It gets you places. It's nice. Everyone likes you generally, unless they hate you because you're not like them. You know, it's pretty clear cut. There's no complication to my existence. The only problem you get is that people will try to play you. But if you're experienced enough dealing with fuckwits, you can dodge that shit. Because I called my ex-boyfriend on that shit pretty fucking hard. I couldn't change him, obviously. It's not my place to change him. I tried to reason with him. What he was doing was wrong and where he's going. And I gave him email and written list after list as to why it's going to fuck up. And it did. So that's on you. I'm not taking accountability for your dumb shit. But, you know, you had two prime examples of where it could go. If you do all the right things, it will go this way. If you do all the fucked up, stupid things, it goes this way. What they should have done is looked at the two of us and said, these are two people that have lived very different lives. Which one do you want to be like? Which one actually has gone somewhere? It's like, what do you want to be like? Because right now, I have a strong feeling they've turned around and gone with my ex-boyfriend. I'm sitting going, you fuckers are dumb. But okay. But, you know, there might be some people that turn around and go, you know what, maybe I don't want to go out and get shit-faced or high or fucking sleep around because it breaks your heart. It does. It gives you more trauma and you detach from people. You don't want to make emotional connections because everybody's perceived to be an arsehole. It's going to hurt you. You know, there's a lot of shit going on with that kind of a lifestyle where they're trying to be something inauthentic in order to fit in with a group that clearly is just going to lead them down the path of destruction. And they don't want to see it because it's not perceived to be fun or it's not perceived to be valuable to them because they're still living in that mindset of high school where, you know, I want to be a popular kid or I want to fit in or I want to do this, but none of them have got the balls to fucking lead. It's like you're not supposed to be fitting in at this point. High school ended at 18. I think it ended at 18. I think it was 17 actually. I lose track. I was completely off my head with anorexia and all kinds of fucked up shit. Now, high school ends at 17. After that, you are perceived to be an adult, right? That's why mum did that. She said, as soon as you're 18, you're on your ass, you're on your own, you handle it. I mean, she pretty much set us up for it growing up anyway, because my domestication started at 5. I started learning to be an adult at 5. But she wanted us to be, you know, domesticated to a point where we were an adult because she wanted a servant. Pretty much. She wanted us to run around her ass, which we did. By the time we were 16, 17, we were adults. We knew how to operate as an adult, living independently and stuff like that. Fine, whatever, man. She did it in a bad way, but we still got the point in the end. The message was made. You know, we received the message. Where am I going with this? I'm sorry. I'm definitely past 30. I was making a point here. But, you know, you don't want to join in with people that are going to fuck you up. And you can lose your entire future in life just trying to join in with people that are, you know, not good for you. Not on a soul level. You know, they're not good for you on a soul level. They are leading you into corruption. They're leading you into practices which are just going to fuck you up bodily. That yoga guy, I like that yoga guy. All right, I know he's got a girlfriend, so I won't speak too much about it because I don't want to fuck up whatever's going on with those two if it is something. So I'm just not going to speak on that too much. But that guy was actually doing the right things. He was eating. I was watching him, and I love observing people. I love anomalies. So when I see a group of destructive assholes and I see one person stand out that's doing something different, that's leading, I love those people automatically. There was another guy called John who was really, really nice there. He stood out. But he was more like, you know, my friend Andrew kind of level. I'm sorry, John, I friend zoned you, but you are a beautiful person. You should keep going with that. I don't know why they kept calling him grumpy. He was never, like, they kept bagging that guy out. I'm sitting there, but why? He's so nice. It doesn't make sense. But this other guy, and I'm sitting there going, you're eating clean, you're going to the gym, you're running your own business, or trying to. He's working a lot, and he never really hangs out with the crowd. Like, I remember that the last time I actually saw him drink with these people was maybe his birthday, I think it was, and that was like the first time I ever came across him. And I'm watching him and going, you're doing all the right fucking things. What is happening that you want to hang out with these assholes? It doesn't make sense, because they're backstabbing nasty fuckers. And I'm not sure if he's just hanging out there, because like he'd do his shift and then he'd come and eat at the table, and we'd be sitting there, and I'd be sitting there with my ex-boyfriend trying to, do his thing, and I'd be like, I just want to hang out with this guy because, this is my guy. Apparently he wasn't, because apparently he was everyone's fucking guy. But, I mean, this guy would be sitting there eating his clean food. I'm going, yeah, I like this. This is good. And then he'd be, they'd be talking about the gym or some shit like that. I'm going, yeah. And then he'd be talking about his spiritual stuff. I'm going, yeah, so you're actually open-minded and you want to talk about and grow stuff. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool, okay. And he does his yoga stuff, and that's his business. I'm going, yeah, cool, okay. So yeah, you want to develop anything? You're doing all the right things. And you're living an authentic life, and it's going somewhere. So I would be, and then he just disappeared off the, off the charts for like forever. And I didn't see him for a very fucking long time. I'm hoping he kept it up. I really am, because I hate it when people backtrack into bullshit. Because it gives me the shit. Sometimes you made all this progress and you're doing so fucking well. And I'm so proud of you for doing it, because you're surrounded by assholes that aren't. It's like, it makes it all the much more harder. Because you're living your authentic life surrounded by fuckheads that don't want to and will bag you out for it. But he's standing on his own 2 feet, and that's what makes it all the more impressive. It's like when you're swamped by assholes that want to drag you down, and you still stand your ground, you fucking lead. And you don't take their shit. That's authenticity. You stand up for yourself, dude. Don't fucking let these dickheads tell you what to do. I mean, and I was impressed by that. I mean, I didn't tell him because I'm a chicken shit, but and I wasn't in that sort of close position where you can make comments like, oh my God, I'm so proud of you and shit like that. I'll do it to my kids because I love my kids at school, but to another adult, it's really, it's awkward because, you don't want to be perceived to be, hitting on someone. I don't know. I have trouble with the social stuff with adults anyway. Kids are easy. You can crack jokes with kids. They get it and you just laugh and carry on. There's more subtlety and nuance to adult interactions that I just have not managed to pick up. Like flirting, I can't fucking do. I don't understand it. When they flirt with me, it blanks me out. But but you wanna praise them, and it's my job, and I daily sitting there praising my kids because, oh my God, you're amazing, you're fantastic. And it's just that easy because it just flows off the tongue, and it's easy because it's kids, and they're not going to sit there and judge you and call you a suckhole or anything like that for telling you that, telling them that you're proud of you. Although I have been told to fuck off before, so but that was by a 10-year-old with issues. Yeah, that was an interesting day. I was like, you come and sit down, you fuck off, you can. He's like, oh, okay, you're going to have a nice Tuesday too. Okay, bye. But my kids are crazy. I love SES, low SES schools. They're crazy kids. They get through the worst shit. It's amazing to watch. There's blossoming in adversity. But yeah, your true authentic self should be, first and foremost, positive. You should be trying to grow. You should be working. Our entire existence is about growing. Even from birth and conception, you've been growing. You've been changing. Whether it's good change or bad change is down to you. Whether you might have not a lot of say in the way you grew. I mean, growing up as kids, we're stuck in environments that we don't really have a choice in. But once you come to maturity and you're 18, that's you. You get to be what you want to be now. Whatever you came from before that doesn't fucking matter. It shouldn't fucking matter because you have a choice as to how you want to behave and think and feel. Don't blame your childhood on that. I should be a fucking serial killer, to be honest, given my background. That's textbook serial killer shit. But, I chose not to be because I got to 18 and I said I didn't like that. I'm not doing that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that. I hate what my parents did to me. I hate the way they acted and behaved and how they think that this is all right to do to a kid. I'm not going to do it. So my morals and values, some of them might be my parents, but most of them are just reflecting back and saying, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not going that way. I have no penchant for alcohol. But that's because I wasn't raised with it. My parents didn't drink when I was growing up. They've used this in other ways, of course, but alcohol and drugs were never there. So I don't have any kind of predisposition to want to take them. And then even as a teen, none of my friends took drugs or really drank because it's a pretty sheltered existence, I guess. I just managed to fluke into the right friend group. I wasn't popular. I was one of the weird kids, and even the weird kids. Although we had stoners, they kind of just sat in the bushes around the edge of the oval and wag school and just smoke weed. And you hang out with those guys and they're pretty chill, but you never actually hung out with them while they're taking the drugs. So they'd come to class when they did come to class. And you fuck around with them because they're great fun. And I remember sitting in, physical science, making balls of sticky tape and then setting them on fire, flinging them around the room when the teacher wasn't looking. But you hang out with those guys because they're pretty chill. But you don't actually partake of the practices of taking drugs and stuff like that, because common sense is just not going to be good for you, is it? Why bother doing something you know is not going to be good for you? What, to fit in? Because your friends are doing it? Are these your friends really? Or are they sitting there to drag you down because you're enabling what they do? Because they want to take drugs, because they've got fucked up mental issues. You've got to make a choice, draw the line. So what kind of a person are you going to be? Are you going to be a constructive person that gets somewhere and does something with their life? Are you going to sit around with the fucking deadheads doing fuck all, wasting your money, taking drugs? It's like going nowhere. I mean, if you get to 38 and you've got nothing to show for it, I'd be fucking ashamed, to be honest. I mean, there is room for error. There is, even doing the right things, what was perceived to be the right things. I still, lost my house to my ex-husband in divorce. Shit like that is unpredictable. I thought, honestly, after 10 years of knowing the man, that I would be okay to marry him. I was wrong, apparently, because people change and things change and priorities change. But in that, you still build up the resilience, you still build up the resourcefulness, you rebuild your life, you don't fuck around. There's always time for change. Better to risk a good change than to sit in, shit circumstances and just accept this is my fate. I just feel like shit, everything's shit, It's like, don't keep doing that. Come on, get the fuck up. Come on. You're sitting there having a whinge and enjoying your little misery puddle. There's no time for that. There's no effort. You've only got, most of us have got, till we're about 80 if we're lucky. I'm 38 now. I'm halfway through. I've got to do something. I can't just sit on my ass and do nothing. And we don't even know how long we've got till that gets cut short, right? Something really horrible could happen. A volcano could go off. I don't know. But, you don't want to risk wasting the time you've got left just fucking around with a bunch of dickheads, wasting your life. And yeah, it fascinates me that people can actually do that. I don't know how they do it. Don't you feel like you're wasting time? So that drives me nuts. It drives me nuts. I'd feel like I was wasting time. But then again, I got shitload of trauma responses. Anyway, I'm going to have to leave it there. So I'm hoping you guys have had a really great Tuesday. Oh shit, I'm 10 minutes late. It's okay, I'll sneak in the back. That's what she said. No, wait, hang on. I'm hoping you have a fantastic Tuesday. I want you to have a really empowered day, okay? So I want you to get out there and do something constructive. Don't listen to the assholes that are being negative, that are dragging you down and telling you have to be a particular way because, it's what they're doing reflects their decisions. If they've made poor decisions, fuck them. It's a bit cutthroat, but you know what? Look at what they're doing. Is it going anywhere? Is it worth anything? No, fuck them off. Stop making space for assholes in your life. Particularly ones that want to waste your resources and time while you try and appease them. There's no point. It goes nowhere. So have a great day. I'm going to do another podcast on the way back, hopefully. And I'm going to leave it there, and I'll see you later.